Today, I'm going to explain the movie Andhadhun, released in the year 2018. In the opening scene, a farmer is seen hunting a pesky hare in the countryside. The hare runs to a milestone on the highway as the farmer takes aim at it. The scene cuts abruptly when a gunshot is heard. Then we're introduced to the protagonist of the film, Akash, a blind pianist living alone in Pune. He's troubled by a neighborhood kid who for some reason believes that Akash is faking being blind. One morning, the kid sets a trap to trick him and confirm his suspicion, but Akash falls right into the trap, proving his blindness. Following the eventful start of the morning, Akash goes to a music shop where he reveals that he is soon moving to London to continue pursuing a career in music. Somewhere else in Pune, the former movie superstar Pramod Sinha comes home to his second wife, Simi. They are a happy married couple, although their marriage was highly hated by the fans who believe the age difference between the two is outrageous. Many reports say that Simi married Pramod for money and fame, but the former actor doesn't seem to care. He has a daughter, Dani, from his previous marriage who visits the couple often. One day while returning home from work, Akash is hit by a girl named Sophie in a scooter. She helps him up and treats him to lunch as an apology. On finding out that he's a pianist, she instantly hires him to entertain the customers at his father's restaurant. When Akash is home alone at night, he takes off his foggy eye lenses and reveals that he's been faking being blind. Being visionless makes his artistic senses flow, which is why he lives alone and is making a career out of a lie. The following day, he goes to work and impresses everyone with his skill. The actor Pramod is also at the restaurant. He compliments the blind artist and encourages him to keep pursuing music. A few weeks into singing at the restaurant, Pramod invites Akash to his home for a private concert for his third wedding anniversary. At home, he lies to Simi, claiming that he has to go to another city tomorrow. In actuality, he wants to come home at midday and surprise her with Akash. In the evening, Akash and Sophie are stuck at his home because of the rain. They change into dry clothes and start talking about their life. Suddenly, things get heated and they end up making love. In the following scene, Akash goes to Pramod's apartment and is received by Simi. Initially, she asks him to go away even when he insists that he was called by her husband. But then, a neighbor sees them arguing, so Simi invites Akash in to avoid any drama. He's made to play the piano after Simi claims that her husband will be home in a few minutes. As Akash plays a melody, his eyes land upon a pool of blood and Pramod's dead body lying over it. He's shocked but pretends to not see anything. To calm himself down, he asks to be taken to the bathroom. On his way, he gets a full view of the dead body and shudders. Inside the bathroom is a stranger who stands in a corner while Akash pees. He acts cool and returns to the piano after doing his business. It's clear that the stranger and Simi are having an affair and killed Pramod after being caught red-handed. While Akash continues playing, Simi and the stranger clean up the bloodied mess on the floor and pack up Pramod's dead body in a suitcase. After that, Simi pretends to let someone in the house and plays one of Pramod's voice recordings to make Akash believe her husband is home. Akash plays along and sees the stranger leave with Pramod's body. Following the incident, he comes outside and sits down at a bus stop to calm down. A lottery ticket seller, Saku, asks him to touch one of her tickets for good luck and calls his regular rickshaw driver, Murli, to take Akash home. Saku and Murli have been helping Akash around the neighborhood for a long time and know him well. Akash asks Murli to take him to the police station instead. Just when he's about to tell a cop about the murder, the head police inspector, Manohar, arrives. To Akash's utter surprise, he is the same guy who helped Simi dispose of her husband's dead body. Akash pretends to be complaining about someone killing his pet cat, but Manohar catches on to his lie. He asks to be taken to Akash's house to investigate the cat's murder case. On their way, they meet Manohar's short-tempered wife, Rasika, who he's terrified of. If she finds out about him and Simi, she will surely shoot him dead. Hence, he makes up an excuse before going to Akash's home. At home, he makes sure that Akash is blind by throwing a knife at him. Fortunately for Akash, he doesn't flinch and manages to convince the inspector. In the evening, he goes to work and plays piano a bit more aggressively than usual. Simi also arrives at the restaurant and pretends as if nothing ever happened. By the next morning, Pramod's death makes the television news. He was found inside his car by a bridge. The bullet in his neck proves that he was shot dead, but since his watch is found at a local restaurant, the police believe it was a case of robbery. Manohar takes the case into his hands to make sure he and Simi are not caught. Pramod's daughter Dani is also called to the police station for inquiry. She is heartbroken by her father's death, unaware that her stepmother and Manohar are the culprits. They are joined by Akash, who doesn't tell the police about the murder, scared of being killed. At Pramod's funeral, the neighbor, Mrs. Desa, tells a police officer about a third person that was present at the house at the time of death. The officer asks Simi, but she dismisses the conversation. Dani approaches Akash at the funeral, wanting to learn her father's favorite song on the piano. Akash promises to come to her apartment to start the lesson. The following day, Simi tricks Mrs. Desa to step outside her apartment and pushes her off the balcony. Coincidentally, Akash arrives at the right time to witness the murder, but yet again has to keep quiet. After the piano session, he rushes home and calls Sophie to come over. He plans to tell her everything about the blindness and the murders. At the same time, the neighborhood kid is shooting a video of Akash to prove that he's not blind. Suddenly, Simi arrives at his home with sweets from Pramod's funeral. Akash still pretends to not know anything and welcomes her in. As he makes coffee for both of them, she sits behind him with a ghost face mask, hoping to startle him and catch him in the act. But Akash manages to keep himself calm. Next, she mixes something in his coffee and urges him to drink it. Akash accidentally drops it, which confirms that he's just pretending to be blind. Simi loses her temper and points a gun at him. It makes Akash cut the act and admit his lie. He also promises to never tell anyone about what he saw and flee to London in a month. Simi reveals that the gun is fake, but she had drugged the sweet that he ate earlier. Because of it, he falls unconscious. A while later, Sophie arrives at the house and is received by the kid from earlier. He shows her the video of Akash working efficiently without his glasses. She furiously knocks on the door, only to be received by a naked Simi. Simi pretends to have made love with Akash because he sympathized with her about her husband's death. Because of the drug, he is unconscious on the bed, so Sophie believes Simi's story and storms off. At night, Akash wakes up with foggy eyes and realizes that he has actually been blinded by Simi. She wanted to paint him as a liar if he were ever to reveal the truth. Hence, she drugged him with something that destroyed his cornea. After confirming that he has actually gone blind, she leaves. Following that, he calls Sophie, who refuses to listen to anything he has to say. Somewhere else, Manohar is furious at Simi because he thinks she should have killed the pianist instead of just blinding him. When Simi lashes out at him, he takes it upon himself to finish the job. At night, he barges into Akash's home and tries to strangle him to death. But fortunately for Akash, he manages to injure the inspector and run away. After wandering around the entire night, he wakes up in the hospital. Dr. Swami informs him that he was found by the lottery ticket seller Saku and the rickshaw driver Murli on the road. Hence, they brought him to the hospital. Akash thanks them and asks to meet an optometrist for his eyes. Swami promises to call his optometrist friend for him by the end of the day. Strangely enough, the doctor claims to be giving him a tetanus shot, but draws his blood instead. It's later revealed that the doctor, Murli, and Saku are being paid 2 lakhs each for a pair of kidneys. Since Akash has no immediate family members or friends, they plan to kill him and sell his kidneys. When it gets dark, they put him on a hospital bed, pretending to take a body scan. But he happens to hear the word surgery and panics. As they hold him down, he realizes he's in huge trouble. With his last breath before passing out, he claims to know that Saku has a Lord Shiva tattoo on her arm. They realize he's telling the truth and postpone the plan to find out if he can actually see. The following morning, Akash wakes up and is bluntly told that the group was about to kill him. To save his life, Akash claims to have 1 million rupees that he's willing to share if they help him execute a plan. The money-hungry group agrees to take part. He tells them everything about Manohar and Simi and how they killed her husband, but lies that the couple has $1 million that they stole after his death. The group decides to blackmail Manohar into giving them the money. Later, when Simi returns home from work, she's surprised to see Akash playing piano with her stepdaughter. She had thought that after escaping, he would flee to another city, but is stunned to discover him at her home. She offers him a ride and informs Manohar of his presence. The couple plans to bring him to a secluded place and kill him once and for all. To Akash, nothing is more important than his eyesight. He has been told that with 10 lakhs rupees, he can get a cornea transplant. He asks her for some money in turn for keeping his mouth shut about the murder. Suddenly, their car is stopped by Murli's rickshaw blocking the way. Akash takes the opportunity to knock Simi out with a drug and the group kidnaps her to a hideout. As the next part of the plan, they call Manohar's wife Rasika and tell her about his affair with Simi. They blackmail her to provide them with $1 million by tomorrow, or else they will sell the news to a media company. Rasika goes ballistic on her husband after the truth comes out. She fires at him and only stops when he gets a call from a fellow officer. It turns out that Simi's car was found by a bridge with her shoes and wallet, so the police have assumed that she jumped off it to end her life. Rasika still wants to save her husband and plans a way to settle the situation. In the hideout, the group threatens Simi and draws her blood to intimidate her. The next day, they plan to trap Manohar in an elevator when he comes with the money. Then the group will flee with said money and live their life happily. As they had planned, Manohar comes to the hideout with a bag of money. However, Saku and Murli betray Akash and tie him to a chair, wanting all the money for themselves. He and Simi are left alone in a room while the duo goes to deal with Manohar. Simi laughs at Akash's fate, but he in turn reveals that Manohar is planning to kill her because at this point she is a burden to him. The two decide to help each other to escape. Somewhere else, Dr. Swami gets back Simi's blood samples that he had accidentally sent to the lab. The result includes something that shocks him. At the same time, Murli gets the bag with money but is shot by Manohar in the process. Saku manages to trap the inspector in the elevator and takes the bag of money for herself. She also helps Murli and takes him to the hospital, but he dies while there. When Simi unties her bound hands, she attacks Akash to kill him but is stopped by Dr. Swami. They get into a struggle that ends when they knock Simi out. Swami finally reveals that Simi has the blood group BRH negative that matches a wealthy man's daughter's blood group. The man is offering them $1 million rupees in turn for Simi's liver. With the money, the doctor won't have to work a day in his life, and Akash will get a cornea transplant. Still, Akash doesn't want to do it because they'll have to kill Simi to take her liver. The doctor convinces him otherwise and keeps driving. It is now 2 years later. Sophia is on vacation somewhere in Europe when she comes across a poster of Akash. She enters a restaurant and finds him playing piano as usual. When confronted, Akash reveals what happened that day after the doctor said he would kill Simi for her liver. It turns out that she had managed to kill the doctor from the trunk of the car and was about to run over Akash, but the hare that was shot at the beginning of the movie slammed into the windshield and caused her car to fly off the road. She died in the accident and Akash came to London with the help of a friend. Hence, he is still blind and is living life as he had fantasized long ago. Sophie tells him that she has a flight back home the next day and they agree to keep in touch. But in the last scene, Akash hits a can with his cane, almost as if he can see it. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Thanks for joining me on this cinematic journey, fellow movie buffs. If you enjoyed diving into the world of film with me, don't forget to subscribe to Cinemax and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest movie reviews heading your way. Your support means the world to me. And hey, if you liked what you saw, give this video a thumbs up to let me know. I'm always looking to improve and bring you the best content possible, so feel free to drop a comment below with any suggestions or ideas you'd like to see on the channel. Remember, the magic of the movies never stops, and I'll be here to guide you through it all. Until next time, stay tuned, stay awesome, and keep the popcorn popping. See you at the movies.